Welcome to this festive episode of the Informing Choices Minipod. There are many cultural, religious festivals and celebrations around the world, but few with such global social and economic significance as Christmas. So when we turn towards the future and consider the year 2040, what might celebrating Christmas entail? Today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the podcast strategic communicator and futures thinker Gina Clifford for this festive project. Gina, Merry Christmas to you. Tell me, what possibilities do you see for Christmas 2040?
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you too, Steve. So I looked at a couple things, a couple signals that are bubbling up right now that probably everyone, no matter where you're at, you're seeing, right? So think about the virtual living, the metaverse is kind of out there. Also climate change, and then we have Christmas. So one of the symbols of Christmas, one of the enduring symbols of Christmas is the Christmas tree. And many of us go out and find a Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree every year, and bring it home. You get that sense of bringing nature into the home, and you have that wonderful fresh scent inside your house, and it's beautiful, right? You can touch it. It feels connection with nature, and especially over these past few years, people really appreciate those kinds of touches in their home. But I think what we're seeing right now is with climate change, a lot of the fir trees are actually experiencing difficulty with droughts, and then the insects come in and fungus comes in and kills them. And most of the tree farmers in the world that produce Christmas trees are small or medium-sized businesses. So I don't know how much by 2040 they're going to be able to hang on to that business. And then you have the artificial Christmas trees, which are PVC plastic, not that environmentally friendly. Even the ones that are recyclable, how much of that stuff actually gets recycled is questionable. And then we have the Gen Z, and then the generation after them with Gen A. So by 2040, 2043, they're going to be middle-aged, but they're growing up in an age where, and they care about the environment, and they care a lot about the future, right? So those folks are pushing back. Greta Thunberg is one of those folks, like, we have to do something now. So I don't think they're going to love PVC Christmas trees, and I don't think they're going to be able to get a lot of natural trees. So I think we're going to see holographic Christmas trees, complete with touch, scent, sound. All of that technology is being developed right now and in different levels of maturity. It's still pretty young, but I think by 2043, we could see a holographic Christmas tree that feels real, that you'll have scent, it'll smell like a conifer, you'll have even be able to touch it, and you'll be able to feel what feels like the needles. And I think it'll be connected to some kind of maybe a hybrid of metaverse and internet, maybe the metanet, and you'll actually either decorate your Christmas tree online or through this metanet, or you can use the AI version, which uses cameras and things probably built into some device you have in your house that actually looks at your decor and automatically suggests the best color scheme and decorations for your house. So I think that in short, if you're going to have Christmas in the future, Christmas trees in the future, they could very well be holograms.
That's fascinating. And the thing that particularly struck me there was this idea of almost automating decorating the house. And to some extent, that's always part of the build up to Christmas at the moment, isn't it? It's part of the excitement that everyone feels in the house of getting ready for Christmas, getting the tree sorted. So what do you think might replace that excitement? How do we move the technology in at the same time retaining the very human aspect, that social element of excitement building?
I think people are not going to change that much. Like you said, I think we're still going to want those connections and that connection with the place that we spend our physical time in, even if we do live in a time that's more digitally, even more than it is now, right? In a metaverse where maybe we spend more money in the metaverse than we do in our physical space. But at the end of the day, we want to feel comfortable and safe and happy in our space. And I think technology will come in and play a part to augment that feeling and not replace any of those things that we truly enjoy. But I think we have to think about what you and I might want might be different than those future generations are going to value. And I think that they value, at least from my research, a lot of the generations that are coming up are valuing the environment more than I think has been valued in the past, right? They're looking at what past generations have done as extractive value from nature, and they're kind of pushing back and saying, well, we have to do something now to kind of preserve this for the future. So I'm kind of optimistic that technology has a definite role to play. And I think, we might see at Christmas time more integration of technology, but it won't be in your face. It'll be there to make us feel happier or better. It'll just be in the background, whether that is to help us create color and music or scent or some kind of a feel of tranquility or festiveness. That can all be done with sensors and displays and light technology. But I think it will be to help us, not to replace us as connected to people or anything. I think it'll just be there to add joy.
And I just finally want to touch on the issue of sustainability that you've mentioned a couple of times. And I guess what we're seeing there is how Christmas in the context of sustainability will simply tag along with the underlying trends, particularly of these younger generations, and that sustainability isn't going to be a nice to do, a nice to have. It's just going to be the first thing they think of, isn't it?
I think so. And I think maybe when you think about the decorations and all of that stuff that you buy that's maybe plastic now and non-recyclable materials, and even that the fact that they're in your house might by 2043 not be fashionable anymore. So I think, if you think about what you can digitally do or through some light or imagery that doesn't require a physical tactile, but I wouldn't say tactile, say physical, because I think you'll be able to still touch things and smell things and they'll feel real, but they'll be virtual or digital. And I think that it'll be fashionable because it'll be more sustainable. And I think that, maybe in our generations that are now, in middle-aged or older may not see that, but I think the generations coming up, born into these technologies, very, very passionate about sustainability, they're going to can still continue to celebrate Christmas, but I think they're going to demand that it be sustainability as part of their values, right? It's part of who they are, and they're going to be directing it. So they're going to decide, I want this wall to be green and this one to be red for the holiday season, and I'm going to use some technology to create those colors. It's not permanent and it doesn't have any impact on the environment. It doesn't spew toxic chemicals into the air in your house. It doesn't sit in the landfill. So I think that people are going to get joy from technology, but it's going to be as we want it, right? And not as a replacement for connecting with folks.
Gina, that's absolutely lovely. I love that idea of being able to choose the colors in the rooms at Christmas to give it a seasonal feel. So thank you so much for your insight. That was lovely. And thank you everyone for listening. You can learn more about Gina and her work by connecting via the links in the podcast description. In the meantime, do let your friends and colleagues know about the Informing Choices mini-pod, and a very merry, sustainable Christmas to you all. And a Merry Christmas to you, Gina.
Thank you so much, Steve. And I look forward to all of the different participants and listening to their podcasts.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day and Merry Christmas.